What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Sports Commentating 101 here. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL and its history. Now, first, we're going to start with the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. You see right here. Back in 1963, the Kansas City Chiefs were actually known as the Houston Texans, if you're not familiar. Then they went on to win Super Bowl IV against the Minnesota Vikings 23-7. Then they went on a few years later without any Super Bowl runs, and then they actually went on to win Super Bowl 54 with famous Patrick Mahomes. Now, with the Kansas City Chiefs history, we've known they haven't been able to win as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady, San Francisco, all those famous Super Bowl titles with the most famous Super Bowl wins and most famous Super Bowl players, right? Now, let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. Now, we're just not going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs here, mind you, even though I'm a big fan. Back around 1979, you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong, that back in that time, the Miami Dolphins went to go undefeated and win a Super Bowl while undefeated. And no one was able to beat that record except the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots were one win away to breaking that record and tying with the Miami Dolphins' undefeated record. And then they went on to kind of choke, and they didn't go undefeated anymore. They almost did again, but it's the Patriots. They didn't really last long with that undefeated record. But they were close. They were really close. And I'll give them credit for it. And on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me tell you, I despise that team with every inch of my soul because we lost to them in Super Bowl 55. Now, I do mind you that we fought. I'm going to give Tampa Bay a little bit of credit here, a little bit. They did good, even though I don't want to give them credit for that game. We fought, just, the O-line was injured and whatnot. But before that game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually won, I think, Super Bowl 40-something or 30-something. Can't quite remember. But I do know that they beat the Las Vegas Raiders, a.k.a. Oakland Raiders, before in the Super Bowl. 40 to something. I can't quite remember the score, but I do know that they won 40 to something against the Oakland Raiders back in that Super Bowl time. Now, over the past few decades, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders, they haven't been good. They were in their prime with Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, and one of the other quarterbacks for the Raiders. Can't really tell. But along with Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, only one person in the AFC West was able to win 2 Super Bowls. That was Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes. Actually, mind that. I meant to say 2. Mind that. It was Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, but Peyton Manning won 2 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes has yet to win 2 Super Bowls. And in his prime, sadly, Alex Smith was yet to win a Super Bowl because he's never really been to the playoffs. He probably didn't even go with San Francisco when he got drafted by them. And then we're going to move on to everybody's favorite, the Baltimore Ravens, of course, because most Maryland fans are out there. I'm a Marylander, and I'm a Chiefs fan. Blast me in the comments if you want to. I don't care. Yeah, I'm a Marylander. I'm a Chiefs fan. Doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense a little bit because my stepdad got me into this team ages ago. And I'm not a bandwagon. As you can see, I'm dedicated to my team. And I'm hoping this year we can make it to the Super Bowl. And if this video is a little cringe, blast me if you want to. I don't care. This is my first time in a long time doing a YouTube video / channel, whatever. But the Baltimore Ravens, very famous team, have actually won 2 Super Bowls. Of course, all the Marylanders and Baltimore fans out in the world, you won 2 Super Bowls. Awesome. I'm proud of you guys. You guys are really good. But thoughts? Comment down below if you think the Ravens should trade Lamar Jackson or keep him. If you keep him, comment yes. comment no if you don't want them to keep him. Because, he's been kind of cursed lately with going into the playoffs. Ever since he got close to the playoffs, he's been getting injured. Kind of weird, isn't it? But the Baltimore Ravens have won 2 Super Bowls, along with the famous Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis. Awesome people. Awesome people. Loved those two. I'm not a Ravens fan, but I support them. I give them a lot of support. And then we're going to move on to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, actually, they have won 4 Super Bowls. I never knew this at all, because I'm not a Packers fan, but I know a little bit about them because of my high school teacher. And she's actually a big Packers fan, so shout out to her. If she ever watches YouTube like this, shout out to her for telling me a little bit about the Packers. But back in the day, Packers won 4 Super Bowls, and then Aaron Rodgers led them to another Super Bowl title against the lone Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not giving any hate towards Pittsburgh fans. I hope you guys have an awesome season next year with Kenny Pickett. I think he will be a great improvement for you guys. I hope you guys get a good record next year. Shout out to the Steelers. Shout out to Steelers fans, everyone. And I'm going to move on to the Washington Commanders football team, Redskins. Whatever you want to call them. You can call them the Redskins. You can call them a football team. Or you can call them Commanders, which they are currently right now. The Redskins, Commanders, whatever. They have won 3 Super Bowl titles. And those 2 Super Bowl titles were famously owned by the famous Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann, yes, everybody, number 7 on the Washington Redskins. Won 2 Super Bowl titles with Washington, but then sadly, one fateful day, Lawrence Taylor, one of the most famous defensive players on the Giants, sacked Joe Theismann, ending up breaking his leg in half, ending his career at just 38 years old. Isn't that crazy? 38 years old, a young man was forced into retirement due to his injury. And that's just sad. But then they went on to win their 3rd Super Bowl title against the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 22 of 1989. And they went on to beat the Denver Broncos 42-10. Interesting, right? But I'm going to leave it at that for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. And let me know if this was a little bit of a weird first video for me to start out my sports commenting. But be sure to like and subscribe. And thanks for support. See ya.